Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. I'm the manager of the AFC Wimbly Womblys, a team owned and run by its fans in England, where it is, of course, raining, because that's what it does in England. Oh, we're home today, and as you can see, we've got a great crowd of loyal Wimbly Wombly supporters. Bald John Green, our captain and talisman, our mustachioed hero, Yabamba Frankenstein, Callum Kennedy with his unbelievably terrible hair. Today we're going to talk about, and there's John Green, Nate Bennett, Bald John Green's husband, life partner, and striking partner. Today we're going to talk a Project for Awesome topic suggested by Lori. This is the second to last Project for Awesome topic. Thanks to everyone for donating to the Project for Awesome. Your money went to great organizations, including Save the Children, lots of great organizations that address world suck worldwide. So thank you for your donations. As you can see, AFC Wimbly Womblys tied with Notts County, top of the table. We're top of the league. And we're on professional skill level. I may have to go up to world-class skill level if I dominate today's game, because I have made great strides in the overall quality of my play, not to brag, but also I have good players, thanks to help from AFC Wimbly Wombly supporters who told me who to buy. Yeah, so, but I don't want to brag, but I'm becoming a better player. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I'm thinking not just run to the corner, cross it into the box, Bald John Green heads it into the goal, although I think that's still an excellent strategy. But as you can see, like, the John Greens, they just tackle well. They're just good players. So today's topic was suggested by Lori. She wanted to know about interesting fan encounters I've had over the years. And I've had a lot. I've been blessed to meet lots and lots of nerd fighters around the world, on I think 4 different continents, it's been a wonderful experience being able to meet so many people who like my books, and even that so many people read my books is amazing, and like the stuff that Hank and I do. And but there've been some weird encounters as well. Oh! That was beautiful, Meredith. My shot has improved so much. Do you see this? John Green, Nate Bennett, from way outside. What I've learned is that if you hit B for the right amount of time, you can really cook it. Nobody ever taught me that in the 400 games of soccer I've played on the internet. Anyway, that was a nice shot, but it was all for nothing, like so much effort in this world. Yeah, I was trying to remember the first time I ever met a fan. The first book reading I ever did was in March of 2005 at Anderson's bookstore in suburban Chicago, and the only people to come were 2 people who'd read my book, but they had already bought it on Amazon, and my boss, who thankfully, Steffi, pretended not to be my boss, pretended just to be an interested reader, bought a copy of the book, so at least I sold one. That was my first, oh God, look at that link-up play! Oh, off the post, and then Bald John Green can't get it in. It's devastating. You know who that was, by the way? That was Yabamba. He hit the post, and thousands of Wimbly Wombly supporters around the world sighed with relief because it meant I wasn't going to be singing that song. I do think I might have to go up to world-class skill level, except that Bald John Green's still offside. Some things never change. So I guess that was the first time I ever met, like, readers, was in March of 2005. But it's a very different, like doing a book reading for 6 people or whatever, which I did for, a few years before the world of Vlogbrothers took off, is very different from, like, having a fan interaction, a proper fan interaction. The first time that ever happened was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I was with Maureen Johnson and Hank, and a library had brought us in to talk about technology and stuff. And, oh, that's a nice ball. Oh, there it is, the opening goal. What? 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 Come on. Oh. Cross it into the box and head it into the goal. It's a strategy that's worked for centuries. So, okay, there it isn't the opening goal. So let's hold our horses. But we are playing well. I'm pleased with the. Well, that wasn't very good, but I'm pleased with the overall quality of play. Yeah. So it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and there were about maybe 40 people there, and that was by far the most people, Maureen or I had ever had at a book signing, and Hank had never even, like, done a public event before of any kind. So it was really exciting. It was really awesome. And several nerd fighters who were there are still nerd fighters, including Fam Pants, John Pham, who lives in Chicago, has a great video blog, and other people. And it was I don't know. And then other memorable encounters include like the first time I met Rosianna, who's now my assistant, but who was one of the very first nerd fighters. She was a January 2007 nerd fighter. And Rosianna and I, I always talk about this sort of nostalgically, but there was a time when it was kind of easier to be sort of proper friends with nerd fighters, partly because there were fewer of them, but mostly I think because I was less, like I hadn't been burned or freaked out the way that I have now, which is not anyone's fault. Well, I guess it's some people's fault, but it's not really anyone's fault. It's just that I think partly like fan culture on the internet has changed with Twitter and Tumblr and stuff, and also, it's just that there are some people who haven't been as respectful of boundaries and stuff as you would want. And so that makes me just in general, I think, a little more hesitant and nervous, and also, I don't really know how to meet people on the internet anymore. I'm too old. I don't. What are you guys using? Keek, Tinder. I don't even really know what those things. Did I say Keek right, by the way? Meredith says I think so. Pretending not to use Keek. Good strategy. Snapchat. I seriously don't know. Like, I literally don't know how to become friends with someone on the internet these days. So, but anyway, I remember meeting Rosianna for the first time because I'd known her for a long time. And also because that was the day that I met so many nerd fighters I'd known online for years. It was August 8th, 2008, 8808. And we did this event at the Chicago Public Library. And it happened to coincide with a Harry Potter conference. So there were lots and lots. By the way, it's still 0-0 despite having scored a goal and hit the post. So that's disappointing. But yeah, we did this huge event. There were like 400 people there. And I remember saying to Hank, like, soak this in because this will never happen again. And of course, then it did, but it seemed like it never would. But, like, there are all kinds of moments of relationships with fans. Like, I just got an email from someone who talked about the zombie corn. They said, I'm sure you don't remember this, but I gave you a unicorn zombie that I crocheted or oh, God, Seb Brown, don't worry, or made somehow. And I was like, I do remember that. In fact, like, my kids play with that thing all the time. It's a little weird to have your kids play with a zombie unicorn, but not that weird. So there are sort of quasi-anonymous fan moments that still stick in my mind. Oh, Yabamba! Oh, the frustration is palpable. Oh, you've got it. That's a Y button moment. Talk about how much better I am, and suddenly I'm getting worse and worse. I got to go to attacking mode. All right, we got to win this game. Then, of course, there's the moment I met Meredith, assistant manager Meredith, at a Butler basketball game. And I was just so impressed with Meredith because she was so, she was clearly like, oh, that was a terrible, terrible shot. She was clearly, I'm starting to get too ambitious, thinking I can just shoot from midfield. She was clearly like a fan, like a real, I'm sorry if this weirds you out, Meredith, since you're sitting here, but like she clearly like genuinely liked my work, and she was a nerd fighter, and but she was also super relaxed about all of it, and she was just like really easy and fun to talk to, and like very, very clearly like extremely smart and funny, and that made a big impression on me. And then didn't I offer you an internship that day? Oh, yeah, the next time we met. I offered her an internship the next time we met. I was just very impressed with her, and so yeah, the next time I saw her, I asked her if she was looking for an internship. She was still in college at the time, and she said yes, and then we just, for a while she was Meredith the intern, and now she's just Meredith. She's been promoted like 17 times, but never a salary raise. That's our strategy. That's a joke. Okay, so, yeah, but I mean, I've had so many like really wonderful encounters with people that it's, you know, it does, it becomes hard to list them, but also it feels kind of weird to list them. It feels like weirdly intimate and personal. You know, like I don't want to talk about things that people told me that might have been in confidence or whatever. But you know, in the old days, again, I'm not trying to be nostalgic because I think in most important ways, Nerdfighteria is better now. Like, there's no way that we could have raised $800,000 for charity in 48 hours in 2008. But you know, back in 2007, 2008, when there were 40 people or 100 people at a Nerdfighter gathering, it was Seb Brown, thank you. It was a lot easier to talk to everyone and to have a moment with everyone. And a big signing line like there is these days, a lot of times, it's very weird because it's kind of a it's such a public-private moment. Like, oh, ball John Green, big strong man, you gotta score, and he does. It's other John Green. He's big, he's tough, he has a ginger puff. Other John Green. This was a difficult goal to miss, and even though he was on his weaker left foot, he didn't miss it. Should have walked it in. If I was really courageous, I would have walked it in, but I wasn't. I wanted to shoot. Listen, you can't take it for granted against Sheffield United. Oh, man, that's exciting, though. Here we are, top of the... Should I go world class? That's an open call for questions. I don't know. Professional, I'm comfortable in professional, but you guys seem to want to see me lose. So if we go world class, you'll see me lose. Oh, no, don't worry. You might still see me lose. Seb Brown. Oh, huge save from Sebi. Did you know that last season Seb Brown saved 2 penalties against Manchester City to secure us the FA Cup? The lowest club in the Football League to win the FA Cup in recorded history. It was a beautiful day. That was a wonderful day. Oh, these poor boys, they wear yellow jerseys and they just get so dirty, and they stick to their very attractive pectoral muscles and etc. A couple other moments of meeting people that were really like kind of wonderful and important. The first time I met, I mean, again, like sometimes this stuff doesn't seem like a big deal until later. Like the first time I met Esther, it doesn't seem like a big deal until later. The first time I met or like, the first time I heard from Shailene Woodley, when she was just like writing as a fan of the book, not someone who was later going to play Hazel. Yeah, so I think sometimes you don't know at the time what a big deal something is or why it's important. But later it becomes important, or particularly important. The main thing to me is that even is to try, and I don't know how best to do this. I'll be reading comments and looking for thoughts about this, but I don't really know how best to, in these huge, a big signing line where there's a lot of people, where how does each person have time or whatever to to have how can we have a moment together? It's such a weird constructed space, and they're usually quite nervous because they've been waiting, and I'm always really nervous because it's an intense social situation, and also because I desperately don't want to disappoint people because they've been very generous to wait and stuff. So I really struggle with that. I struggle with how to make that a positive experience for people, and whether, and maybe it is, maybe it is a positive experience and I'm just being kind of too hard on myself, or too hard on the overall, the world of the signing line in the 21st century. But I struggle with how to make it a really positive experience, because I really want it to be, because I am so grateful to people, and it's hard, but it's just so hard to express that. I'm also grateful to all of you for supporting the AFC Wimbledon Womblly Womblys, who have emerged victorious despite Kennedy's haircut. And look at that. We won the game 1-0. Other John Green off a beautiful shot from ball John Green. The Sheffield United keeper is confused and lost, and he is staring oblivion in the face. And that's how we like to leave our opponents. Thanks for watching. Best wishes.